Hello Cancer, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to be watching this video was meant to find you. Okay, please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to go ahead and take this first card as our starting point today, and this is the Priestess energy. So we're going to put that into some context. Now, I also want to say that this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with these images and these energies and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing, okay? And remember that the most important part of any tarot reading, well, it is you. And we're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread here. And as I do this, I'd also like to say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below. All right, so Dove and Serpent spread here, finishing that up. Interesting energies today. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. I'm going to keep going with Rider-Waite-Smith. I've been really vibing with Rider-Waite-Smith lately. And we're just going to put that card right over here by the frog, and we're not going to look at that until the end of the reading. So I encourage you to stick around, and we'll see how that card might tie everything together and, you know, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of things. So we've got this Priestess energy starting us off here, okay? I think you are definitely the type of person that has a strong intuition, a very strong, I mean, this card is ruled by the moon after all, and so is Cancer. So I think we have a special connection to this moon energy, and this is a really strong sense of kind of right and wrong within us, right? We have a very strong conscience, a very strong connection to intuition, to kind of higher knowledge, to kind of divine influence, to spiritual insights. And I think this can manifest in different ways for us Cancers. Yeah, I'm a Cancer sun as well. And I think that sometimes this sense of right and wrong, this intuition, this conscience, perhaps, this connection that we have with the spiritual realities, that we have at times a very open channel to receiving these messages, right? Sometimes these messages, I think, can lead us to feel a little bit of regret, a little bit of guilt, because sometimes, you know, I think we can all admit, we may know what right and wrong is, but we still choose to act based on self-interest or based on these kind of needs that we have. And now what I mean is, with the cards that I'm seeing here today, especially with this Three of Swords, the Seven of Swords, we've got a couple of court cards over here, we've got the Star up here. I'm getting this feeling like there are some people in your life. I don't know if this is a work thing. I think maybe it's taking place in your group of friends, or maybe in your home with family or something, but people very close to you, not in a professional setting. I think you're really being lured in or drawn into some kind of a gossip, some kind of a scandal almost, okay? And I feel like it's one of those situations where you kind of know that you shouldn't get involved, but there's just this idea that it's kind of a difficult situation, not really sure how to navigate it, okay? Because I think your group of friends is really trying to get you to go along with something, maybe to engage in the kind of gossip about, you know, a third party, about another friend or a different family member or something. They're kind of trying to rally you with their agenda. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like it is one of those situations where we know what's really going on. We have the insight and the intuition. We have the gut feeling. We have the common sense. Okay, let's face it. But we're still kind of unsure about how to really get out of the situation, how to deal with it in a delicate way, so that we don't alienate or isolate ourselves, right? And I think that's a key subject for Cancers, is really wanting to feel comfortable, wanting to fit in a little bit, okay? I'm just going to say it now. I don't mean any disrespect by that. But wanting to get along with everyone, wanting to feel comfortable and safe in our environment. And I think at times for some people that may mean that we go along with things in kind of a casual way that maybe our higher voice, our kind of higher intuition is telling us is kind of bad news, right? And I don't think it's anything serious. I think it is just kind of going along with this gossiping in order to just kind of, you know, remain in this comfortable position in this group of people, that's friends or family. I don't think you're really sure that this is your cause, right? I don't think this is your mantle to take up to fight against what these people are doing, or the kind of gossiping or the kind of scandal that they are, you know, getting involved with. Now, I don't think they're involved in a direct way. I think it's more of gossiping about someone else who maybe is involved in this kind of scandal, okay? But the main concern here is how you deal with it and how it makes you feel, right? Where to go next? Let's go to the Three of Swords next, because this is really talking about how it makes us feel. And this is some memories from the past. This card's in the position of our recent past, maybe not so recent, okay? Maybe years. There's this idea that if we don't go along with the status quo, we will be alienated or shunned or embarrassed or laughed at or in some way ostracized from the group that we're trying to fit into. And excuse me, I think it is true for a lot of Cancers, not for everyone, that there is this need to, or at least perhaps in young adulthood, maybe childhood, there is this attempt to really fit in with the group, you know, really to be part of that group, to either fit into a family, fit into a group of friends, fit in someplace at work. And it may be that we compromise ourselves a little bit, right? We sometimes ignore the conscience or the intuition a little bit. We maybe try to mold ourselves or allow ourselves to be molded so that we can fit into that group. Because I think a lot of us have felt kind of at odds with the status quo, okay? And I think you have very strong memories of that. I think maybe when you were a child, you really wanted to fit in to a certain group of friends, a certain clique at work, or, you know, a certain kind of faction within the family. And I think that you took on a persona that wasn't authentically yours in order to try to fit in with this group, right? And I think that you have very strong memories of what that felt like, what it felt for you to kind of to quiet down your conscience a little bit, your better judgment perhaps, and what it felt like to be somewhat ostracized or alienated from the group. Because I think even though you tried to put on that persona to fit into that group, I don't think it really worked, because you weren't being authentic. Right? You weren't being your true self. So I think that the situation going on this week is stirring up a lot of these memories, you know, from young adulthood, maybe from childhood. So it's almost kind of the same thing repeating itself, but now we're 10, 20, 30 years older, right? And this is where we have the dilemma, because we are trying to stay true to ourselves. We're trying to remain authentic with this Priestess card. We're trying to really be true to ourselves, listen to our higher intuition, our instincts, our kind of our connection with the psychic spiritual realm, or with divinity, or whatever we call that. Okay. But really the situation is a no-win situation. So we're trying to mitigate the damages here. We're trying to do the least troublesome thing, right? If we go along with this scandal, this gossip, and we put on that persona and we kind of align ourselves with the group a little bit, then we are not being true to ourselves. We're not being authentic. We are basically projecting to the world that, hey, I'm with them, you know. If we don't do this, we experience the same kind of alienation or shunning or isolation that we are a little bit familiar with. Okay. And that may put you at odds with this group where they think, well, if you're not with them, you must be against them. So that puts you at odds with either the co-workers or the group of friends or the group of family members, wherever this is manifesting. So this is really, it's kind of a sticky situation, right? Down beneath everything, we've got the Seven of Swords. This is futility. This is right in line with this Seven of Discs. It's a no-win situation. It's going to really be kind of a lousy thing either way it goes. Whatever we decide to do, it's going to be kind of lousy, right? So with the Seven of Swords here, there's really no one way that is the perfect solution. At least we haven't found it yet, okay? And I say yet because this isn't all pessimism and doom and gloom. We've got the star energy up above. So these two cards are positioned like that, right? We feel like there's no way out. We feel like there's really no solution. It's an unsolvable equation, right? But we've got that star energy, and this could be an influx of some sort of insight, an intense spiritual kind of revelation that will reveal the answer to you, okay? And this, I think, will come in a flash. It will be something unconventional. It's not something that we could have discovered just by pros and cons, by reason and intellect and logic. Okay, it's not a logical equation. It's an illogical solution. Okay, and I don't want to speculate what this is because it's if I can speculate what it is, then that takes away what I just said that it wasn't, right? So it's not a logical solution. This is something that will come to you in a flash, and you'll know how best to handle this. That again mitigates the damage from it, kind of gets you through this in a way that you come out in the best shape possible. Okay. And this is a real trusting of that higher power in you, that higher connection that you have. The one thing I can say about the way through this situation is that it needs to have a little bit of delicacy. There needs to be some subtlety here. It's not going to be as black and white as I'm either with you or I'm against you, I'm in or I'm out. I either agree with what you guys are doing or I'm the opposition. It's going to be more subtle than that. Okay. This could be a way of really taking yourself out of the equation altogether. And I don't know really what this drama or scandal is. It seems that it might have something to do with overindulgence, with perhaps a romantic or sexual thing. Maybe there's been some infidelity. Maybe someone's relationship isn't working out. Something like that, because we see water, the court card, water, the court card. Excuse me. I'm still a little congested here. But there is some tact and some subtlety that we could use to minimize this situation. Okay, now I don't know how much you already know about this scandal, about this gossip. And I don't know, to be frank, what you're being asked to go along with, what you're being asked to do or to agree with or to participate in. Okay? But I feel like we really need to slow down and we need to take very cautious steps. Okay? Because whatever this is, it has a high probability of really not working out very well for you. You know what I mean? I think if we have this either or view of it, we're not going to come out looking very good. We need to find something different, something that transcends the either I'm in or I'm out. We need to find a third solution, something that's more subtle. And that's what the Eight of Discs is talking about. Trying to take this information from this star card, right? This energy, this revelation that comes to you, this kind of aha moment, and then putting it into practice and knowing how to take that energy and take action with it, delicate, subtle action. Okay? And I think as we move over to the path of the Serpent, the Seven of Cups here is representing a couple of things. I think this is describing what the scandal is, who the people are that are involved, and kind of what's going on a little bit. But the Seven of Cups is also your general energy. So this is you really being able to see through the illusion of this, right? You can see this for what it is, and it's not as simple as, we're joining in with the status quo or the consensus opinion about these people and the scandal that they're involved, or whatever it exactly is. So you're able to see through this, that this is not just clearly what it is on the surface. This goes deeper. It goes deeper for you with this Three of Swords, right? So the details ultimately are really not that important. And what the Eight of Discs and this Seven of Cups, what these are asking us to do is to take this situation that on the surface seems just pointless and unwinnable and it's just a mess and you really don't want to touch it, right? We're learning how to take a situation like this and really turn it into something productive for our own spiritual growth, our own evolution, our own self-knowledge, right? Know thyself. And how do we come to know ourselves? Well, it's through challenging situations. It's through challenging situations that also have this emotional component. Those, I think, are the most challenging. And the Seven of Cups, in terms of what this scandal is, I think this is some overindulgence. This could be some drug use, some alcoholism, some addiction, something like that. Okay? And I think it involves two people that you know, one a little bit older, one a little bit younger. One perhaps is an air sign, one could be a water sign. I think there is some overindulgence going on. Okay, maybe some addiction. Maybe someone has taken to drinking a little bit excessively. Okay. And I think it kind of has to do with this younger person. This could be a younger water sign person. They may have a feminine energy, but I'm not getting that very strongly. What I'm getting is that they're kind of, they're younger, but they're more immature than they are young, right? They still think they're kind of invincible and, well, I can handle this because I'm strong and I haven't had any kind of negative effects of it yet. But with any kind of addiction or overindulgence, I think the consequences will catch up very quickly. But this person doesn't know that yet. Okay, so I think that they are still in this stage in their growth, in their maturity, that they think it's not going to affect them. They think, well, that's not going to happen to me. I can stay in control, right? But I also see this Two of Cups here, and this this is your concern and your care and your love for these people. You don't want to see them go through something like this. You don't want to see them suffer or have difficulty or be in pain or struggle with these kinds of things. Okay, So you do want to get involved. You have the heart to help in some way, but not by participating in whatever this group is wanting to do. Maybe it's some kind of intervention. Maybe it's some kind of just, you know, talking to the family or talking to other, I don't know. But you know that's not the way. You've got this priestess, this star energy to tell you, well, that's doing whatever this group is wanting to do. That's not the way. Okay. But we've got this Two of Cups. So you do have that care and that concern. It's not like you're completely detached from what the people in question are going through. It could be this one person, maybe. Maybe this is the focus of the group's attention, or the focus of the scandal, the drama, the gossip, maybe on this water sign person. But we see this Queen of Swords up here at the very top, and this could be you getting a different perspective on this, because this is at the top of the path of the Serpent. The star energy is on the path of the Dove at the very top. Okay, and it's both air energy. So we have this really confusing air energy down here, this really toxic kind of water energy at the bottom, but up top here with the star and with the Queen of Swords, we have clarity. We have revelation, insight, we have that aha moment, we have the clear objective vantage point to look at the situation. Okay. So I think that you're going to find the internal, psychological, spiritual benefit to yourself going through this challenge. But I think you are going to find a way to help this person in a way that is not drawing you into the scandal, not drawing you into the gossip or the status quo of the group. Okay? And I do think that there are other people involved. There's the simple fact that we have these two court cards on the path of the Serpent here. It shows that there are many people, it could be 2, 4, 5, I don't know, that want you on their team. They want you to join forces with them. But I think you try to find an independent vantage point. You take an independent stance on things. You trust yourself on how you should best respond to what this other loved one, could be coworker, friend, family member, on what they are doing, what they're going through. Does that make sense? So I think you do find a way to express this Two of Cups, this compassion, this love, care, concern, but in a way that is much more helpful to them, and also reveals how much you've learned through this process about yourself. You know, what we've kind of learned from the path of the Dove, we're now applying it to the path of the Serpent with this connection of this Queen of Swords. Okay, there's the water here and the air here, and the Queen of Swords is the water of the air. So I think it really is indicating a positive outcome, a lot of growth for you, and you're able to navigate this situation with maturity, right? With insight. And I think that's very important to you. Rather than being just kind of drawn into what the group wants to do, or, you know, to what the status quo is, or just trying to fit in and go along with things, you're taking an independent stance. And I think that is a big move for you. Let's look at the mystery card. The mystery card could be, the mystery card could be, I'm hoping for a Six of Cups. I'm hoping perhaps for an Empress energy. Some kind of really healing vibes here. Well, let's find out what that is. Well, it's the Ten of Discs. 10 of Discs. So this to me is, it's a state of perfection, right? But as we know, the state of perfection is kind of an illusion of it in itself, okay? It's not something that is actually attainable. But I think through this situation, you reach a very satisfying stage of it. This 7 of Discs, this 8 of Discs, we're able to kind of consolidate and crystallize and settle things out in a way that really feels satisfying, you know? with the path of the dove, we can turn that into a 10 of discs, a 10 of pentacles, a real satisfying result, right? A real state of accomplishment. You feel like you've really grown, right? It feels like it has done something, right? That you've reached some state. The 10 of discs is not, it's not the activity, right? And if looking at the images, even on the Rider-Waite-Smith, the 10 of Cups is not the activity of creating the wealth and the accomplishment and the perfection. It's the state. It's the result of it. It's more of a noun than a verb, right? It's the result rather than the cause. So the cause is all of this energy on the path of the dove. The result is a very satisfied state that you feel like you've made progress in your own spiritual development. Okay? And the 10 of discs or pentacles applied to the path of the serpent, well, if all of this is the cause, this is the situation, what we're attaining is a state of perfection. This person is going to be made whole again. It could be the state of recovery from this addiction or whatever it might be. Okay, so you want the best for this person. I think this person will ultimately be made whole again, will be in the state of recovery. Does that make sense? So I think this has a real win-win situation, and it seems to me like what we said at the beginning, how there's really no way to get out of this clean. I think we've learned that that's not going to be the case necessarily. Okay, we kind of said that whatever you choose, it's going to just be mitigating damages, right? It's not going to be a good outcome, but at least you can make it not so terrible. I think we're getting the confirmation that you really can make this a good situation, that everything will turn out well in the end. And I think you can't guarantee that from the path of the serpent, because there are other people involved, and we don't know ultimately what's going to happen to this water sign person. But I think through your efforts, you are increasing the likelihood that it'll be a 10 of discs situation for them. Well, they'll be in recovery. They will be in the state of healing. And for yourself, I think with this 10 of Pentacles, 10 of discs, we will find ourselves in a state of recovery, in a state of healing from this 3, from this 7, from the confusion and from the memories of kind of what this is triggering in us, right? So I think this is a wonderful confirmation. And I think this is showing that there is a way to get out of this situation with some kind of, with a positive, you know, a positive entry in the ledger rather than just it being a wash, right? Or being a loss, but we'll try to mitigate the loss a little bit. No, I think it's going to turn out really, really well. I do. And now we're going to do the extended. If you want to stick around for that, please click on the link that's right here. Then you can have access to all of the extended readings. Very special. This was your timeless tarot reading. Again, whenever you happen to be watching this, this video was meant to find you. Okay? Thank you so much for letting me read for you here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.